They work just going to go through line item by line item, kind of bullet points as to how to live a healthy lifestyle. A little more in depth than what we usually cover, which is going to be fun. Hope everybody had a good week. We had a great week. I was on Dr. Oz last week. That was a blast. What fun that was. The show's going to air December 19th. So who else is on? Instagram?
This is YouTube and Twitch.
Hi, YouTube, Twitch.
And Instagram.
Instagram. Where's Facebook? Facebook's there.
This is Facebook.
That's Facebook. See, we got a bunch of cameras here, folks. I gotta look at different cameras and see what we're looking at here. It's kind of fun. So you only see the magic here. You don't get to see behind the scenes. So, but welcome. Glad you could be here. And if you're first time tuning in, glad you're here. We get so many new people every week. It's so much fun. Gotta listen here. Okay. And it's so great. From what I gather, we're the #1 health and wellness show on streaming in the world right now, which is kind of cool. Thanks to you. If you have any questions, you can start sending them in right now. You can send them in, and at the break, I do my show on the air because that's live around the world. And then at the break, we do the we answer your questions. So send in your questions for you, your friends, your family, your children. Send them in, and I'll cover them at the break. I think we're coming up here now. So here we go. This is how the magic works.
750 WUSB. Depend on it. The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended.
That's a mod over there. I got to look at a mod. He's my producer.
Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad we're spending a little time together. Hope everybody had a good week since the last time we were together. I had a great week. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to talk today about some rules for healthy living. Just step-by-step kind of bullet point things to talk about so that you can discuss, so that you can figure out steps you need to do. Now, years ago, I had this IT guy, and when I first got on radio a long time ago, and he said, you got to say something, Doc. And I said, what's that? He says, you got to say that you don't have to do everything at once. He says, that's going to take a lot of stress off people. And that was a very important statement that he made to me. And it still rings in my ears. You don't have to do everything at once. Because every now and then, most of you don't, but every now and then I'll get somebody who'll say, Dr. Joe, it's just too overwhelming. I've led this unhealthy lifestyle all these years, and I'm not going to do it. I said, okay, can we do one thing? Let's talk about what's one thing you might be able to do. Could you give up your artificial sweetener? Yeah, I could do that. Okay, good. So let's do that, and then next week, let's talk again. And I've had to take people really step by step sometimes, week by week. Okay, you did that. How was it? Oh, that was really easy. I didn't realize how easy that was going to be. Then we go to the next step. Gosh, I didn't realize that was so simple. I kept, in my mind, it was such a big mountain to climb, and I've never been able to do it, and now that I did it, it was so easy. I said, absolutely, let's do the next thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a bunch of rules today. You decide which ones you want to do. In a perfect world, you do all of them. But I'm also a realist, and I realize that you're probably not going to do everything that I say. But take a step. Let me prove to you what I'm teaching you is valuable. And if you're happy with it, which you will be, then we'll go to the next step and the next step. Now, if you want to learn about living a healthy lifestyle, on our website, drjoe.com, we have well over 1,000 hours of podcast, audio and video. Because some people are learn from listening, some people learn from watching. If you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, we live stream a lot of my shows, so you can come to the live streams and watch the shows. And all of those shows are going to be put on the website, drjoe.com, and you can watch and pick and choose the topics that you want, because maybe you're a brawny football player and you don't really care about women's health issues, or you might not have children, so we might talk about children one day. But you can pick and choose the topics you want, listen to them, download them. We have them on SoundCloud, so it's downloadable, and then we have them on YouTube as well, so you can watch them. I have a blog that I write, so depending how you learn, that's what we're going to do for you. So once you've discovered the root of whatever your problem is, your pain, your anxiety, your health issues, you need to identify the changes that you need to make to support your new lifestyle so you can achieve your goals. Well, gosh, Dr. Joe, I realized that I drink too much. Okay, well, that's an issue. Alcohol is one of my 7 deadly sins. And so people may say, oh, I drink too much, Dr. Joe. All right, let's identify it, step number 1, and then let's go through step-by-step things that we can do. Your everyday choices you make are going to make a huge effect on your health. And I talk about, like, let's say cold and flu. Right after Halloween, everybody buys candy. They don't give it all out, and they eat the candy. So what happens? Everybody starts to get sick. That's when you start to hear the buzz on the news. It's cold and flu season. Cold and flu season is hitting us early this year. I've never heard him ever say it hits late. It always hits early. And so cold and flu is going to hit early this year. When does it start? When everybody eats so much sugar that it blows out your immune system. Then you start getting a little better, and then what happens? Thanksgiving comes along. And you're traveling. I know I go up north. I still have family up in New York area. And the air up there is so dry. And when your sinuses dry out, you lose your mucus protection, your mucus layer. And so viruses, rhinovirus, flu virus, can get into your sinuses easier. The mucus is there to protect that. And when you dry out, viruses can get in. Viruses duplicate easier in cold weather. And then maybe you flew, or you traveled, you're around other people, you're stuck in a house. And so now we start to see people start getting sick after Thanksgiving because, again, they not only ate bad food, they ate too much food, which is another issue. Then everybody suffers, and they miss a few Christmas parties, and they start to feel a little better the week before Christmas, and then bam, Christmas comes along. And so little steps that you take can prevent you from falling into these categories. Like, for example, if you're going to a party, don't eat too much. Volume is a big issue, and that's a problem. It's interesting, if you ever studied Ayurveda, which is Indian scripture, and we talk about, in the Christian world, we talk about Adam and Eve. And the Judeo-Christian story is that Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Eve was told, don't eat the apple, and she did, and that was original sin. Well, in Ayurveda, the original sin, same story, but the original sin is that Eve ate more than she needed. And gluttony is original sin. Same story, different spin on it. And so eating too much, even if you're eating organically grown raw fruits and vegetables, is not a good thing. Your stomach is only about the size of your fist. And if you're eating more food than that and your stomach starts to expand and blow up, it can't digest the food properly. So please, if you're going to go to a party like a Thanksgiving feast or Christmas feast, whatever normal amount of food you would eat, just eat that amount. Even if you're going to try a little bit of the casserole, a little bit of the turkey, whatever it is, which I don't think you should do, of course, at least you're not eating the volume and your body's able to handle it. So eating a healthy diet, I don't think there's any topic more important, more emotional, or more confusing than what to eat. Everybody confused with diet? Raise your hand. Because you hear about the gluten-free diet, and then you hear about the keto diet, and then you hear about the high carb and the low carb, and the raw food diet, and the vegan diet, and the vegetarian diet, and the high protein and the low carb, and the high carb, low protein, high fat. I'm confused. I've been studying biochemistry, neurophysiology, and nutrition for 35 years. And I practice chiropractic. So as a chiropractor, I try to follow on what's new, what the new trends are. And I get confused. Wait a minute, I just read that high carbs are bad. Now I'm hearing that complex carbs are okay, but it's the simple carbs. And then you're supposed to eat high protein, but no, it's not the protein. You're supposed to eat more fat and less protein. Wow. So the nice part is you don't have to read all this stuff and try to figure it out. I've figured it out for you. So your friends want to go out for pizza. You're confused. What do? You go to a party. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I go to a party? So there's a lot of emotion involved in eating, and then it's also part of society, right? You have Christmas, you have Thanksgiving. I grew up half Italian, half German. What do? We ate. You had a funeral, you ate. It's called a repast after a funeral. I don't know if any other cultures have that, but the repast is everybody goes out to dinner after the funeral. So you go to the repast and you eat, and you go to a wedding and you eat, you go to a funeral, you eat, you go to a graduation, you eat, you go to a party, you go on a date when you eat, you sit at home alone, and what are you going to do? You're going to eat. So it's very emotional food. So it can be hard to try to figure out what's going to be best for you. And no amount of supplements, no amount of exercise, no amount of stress management is going to make up for a good diet. I have athletes come to me all the time, guys working out all the time, huge muscle heads. And they say, Doc, I can eat whatever I want because I work out. No, it's the other way around. You can eat, you're supposed to eat properly, then modify your exercise regime. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, I'm going to open up the phone lines. The number here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, again, drjoe.com. Great source of information. The supplements I recommend are there. A lot of good stuff is there. So the website, drjoe.com, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Right now, lines are open. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Got so carried away. I went way past my target there. 14 minutes was supposed to be my break. All right. Do we have any questions?
We do. We have one question for pulmonary hypertension tips.
Okay. Several things. When it comes to hypertension, we got to look at diet, of course, is a big player, but we also got to look at the physical aspects of it. One of the things I find, and my doctors find all the time, is there's an irritation of something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a nerve. It runs from your neck, goes down your left side, controls your digestive system, controls every organ in the body except your adrenal glands. And if the vagus nerve, it calms you down. So if the vagus nerve is being stimulated, it may not be calming you down, and that could raise your blood pressure. A lot of times I see patients with acid reflux. The stomach is pushed up into the diaphragm. We need to massage or physically pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. That takes the pressure off the stomach, which takes the stress off the vagus nerve, and many times pulmonary hypertension drops. So diet, of course, is huge. People always say go on a low-salt diet. Well, you can go on a low-salt diet, but there's types of salt. There's air-dried sea salt, which is okay, has over 70 different minerals in it. And then there's table salt, which is bad. So in your house, in your life, the only salt you should ever eat under any circumstances is air-dried sea salt. It's also called Himalayan salt, Celtic salt. That's the only salt you should eat. And you're not going to have the same effect from that as you would from plain white table salt. So I want to look at the physical aspects of blood pressure, and I want to look at the chemical, the dietary aspects. Many times we find the atlas, the top bone in the neck, is out of place. And when we adjust the atlas, the blood pressure can drop as well. So one of the warnings I give people is if they're starting on treatment with us and they're on medication, monitor your medication because you may not need as much medication as we start to get you better. Supplement-wise, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, absolutely, that's the starting point for everyone. Most everyone, I should say. And also nitric oxide is a wonderful supplement which will open up your blood vessels, and as the blood vessels open, that can help drop your blood pressure as well. So the things you can do is dietary changes, Super Green, Essential Source, and nitric oxide, but come see us. Let's check the neurological aspects as well. And if you have high blood pressure and your diet hasn't changed it, another reason to come see us so that we can check to see if there's a physical problem. Any other questions?
No, but I love today's topic.
It's a fun topic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people always say, what did you eat? To me, over Thanksgiving. I went to a typical Thanksgiving dinner with family, and all the stuff was there, the turkey and the stuffy and the acorn squash. I'm not a big fan of squash, so I kind of passed on that. But fabulous cranberry sauce was just awesome. Raw cranberries, organic, an organic orange chopped up, and you put the two of them in a food processor. And you whip it up. Now you could add a little stevia to it. If you do honey, you can do a little honey. You can do brown sugar, which I wouldn't suggest, but you can. And whip it up. And you've got this raw, not really chunky, but chopped up cranberry sauce. Spectacular. I mean, that canned stuff is nothing. It's just sugar. You make your own. It's spectacular. It's awesome. So I had that. I had salad. I had broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green beans. And that was it.
We fudged on the cheese a little bit.
Oh, and how'd you feel?
We didn't eat too much, so we didn't
Yeah,
feel
we
too
really
bad.
didn't eat a lot, so we didn't feel
I
all
made
that bad.
vegan green bean casserole though, and that was really good.
And it was spectacular, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
And I mean, I made it for my whole family, and they couldn't taste the difference.
I don't
That's
even
the
think
thing.
did you tell them?
No, I just told them I made green bean casserole.
And they loved it. You don't have to
I
tell
mean, my
them.
mom knew because I cooked with her, but yeah, I just
Sure.
served it like anything else.
Right.
And then I made a roasted cauliflower for.
Perfect. Yeah. And it's so much cheaper to eat this way, too. That's the other thing. It's like, gosh, I was in New York. I was on the Dr. Oz show. And so I spent some time in New York City. And the restaurants in New York, even the little hole-in-the-wall places, you're looking at $16, $18, $20 for a meal. It's crazy compared to Atlanta, of course. And the easiest thing to do, cover up the food, look at the prices. The cheapest thing on the menu is almost always the healthiest thing on the menu. And so it's cheaper and it's healthier and it tastes great. At the end of the day, you had a great meal, I had a great meal. So we both had great meals. So why would we want to do it the bad way if we could do it the good way? It's
And
not
we
rocket
felt
science.
good after a Thanksgiving meal instead of feeling just
Yeah,
so
everybody's
stuffed
passed
and
out in the living room, and
just like hurting, and we're just like ready to go and
Yeah,
we
having
got
fun.
with our day, had
Absolutely.
a good meal, and
No,
you get
it's
energy from your meal, and
that's what it should do. It shouldn't wipe you out. It should give you energy. So I gotta hang out with more vegans like us.
we do have a question about colloidal silver. I'm not sure in what regard, but what do you think about colloidal silver, I guess?
I'll answer at the next break.
Refrigerator. Learn what you should eat and what not to eat to get healthy. Dr. Joe Esposito is on. News 95.5 at AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. I am so glad you're with me today. As always, love having you guys around. It's always a good time, and it's the most fun we can have. And I was a guest on a show the other day, my friend Eric Von Hessler's show, and at the break I said, so what are you going to do this weekend? He goes, just hang out. He says, I'm the happiest when I'm on the air. He says, so nothing I can do is more fun than my job. And that's how I feel too. I love being on the air. I love sharing this information with you. And I love when you guys have questions for me, because hopefully every time you listen to a show, we're going to make your life a little bit better. So if you do have a healthcare question, the lines are open right now, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-4-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, if you want to talk about supplements, if you have questions, some people have questions about their insurance, just call us. We're more than happy to help you. We're all about customer service. So we're talking today about rules for healthy living. And we started talking about diet. Of course, we always have to do that. Because diet is probably the most emotional thing. It has religious implications. There are some rules in religions that if you eat certain things, you can be killed. So diet's pretty serious. So I'm going to go through some tried and true things that across the board work for everyone. Okay, so we're going to cover that. Let's start taking some calls first because I want to go through this, but I want to don't leave my callers hanging too long. Again, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Nancy, how can we make your day better? All right, I'm going to hold it up to the light right now. Okay. Tell me what it says, Nancy. Tell me what your MRI says. Okay. Okay. Got it. Foraminal stenosis. Got it. Okay. All right, so let's break that down. Subluxation means the bone is out of place. Luxation means it's a fracture. So a luxation is a Latin word for fracture. Subluxation means it's less than a fracture. So it's dislocated, so it's out of alignment. The bulging disc, the bulging disc is there's little pads in between the vertebrae called discs. And they're like jelly donuts. They're soft on the inside and firm around the outside. So if that soft inside starts to push out, that's called a bulging disc. The reason the disc is bulging is because the bones are subluxated, putting stress on the disc. Degeneration is the bones have been out of alignment for years and they've been rubbing up against each other. And the foraminal encroachment, foramen is the little hole in between the bones where the nerve comes out. So the bone is out of place, pinching the nerve. It's been out of place for years, so there's degeneration, and the disc in the middle is getting weak and starting to bulge. So that explains what your MRI says. Now, what do you do about it? I'm sure that's your next question, right? Good, thank you. Excellent. I'm glad you said that. Good. Okay, so what we need to do is, number one, you got to fix the subluxation. If the bone is out of alignment, we got to put it back in alignment. Once we do that, that takes the stress off the disc, and hopefully the swelling goes back to normal. The bulging disc goes back to where it's supposed to be in between the bones. If the bones are out of alignment, that's the cause of osteoarthritis, 100% of the time. So anyone listening right now, anyone watching as we stream these shows, if you have degeneration, degenerative arthritis or osteoarthritis, it's because the bones are out of alignment. The first most important step you can do is put the bones back in place. So in your case, by putting the bones back in place, we should open up that foramen, the encroachment, stop or slow down or hopefully reverse a little bit of the arthritis, get the disc to go back in place, and hopefully that would help tremendously all the way across the board for you. We do it all day, every day. Been doing it for 35 years. Yeah, we're pretty good at it by now. Yeah, so if you'd like to, Nancy, you can dial this number during working hours, 844-44-Dr.Joe, and we can go ahead and get you set up an appointment. Hopefully not. The goal is to try to get it before it gets to the point of surgery. Now, can I promise results? No. Can I tell you I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of patients, and most of them get great results? I can tell you that, yes. 3 millimeters is so small. Look at a ruler of 3 millimeters. It's minuscule. Yeah. So you still got it early, and that's a great time to fix it. Sure. Yeah, if one bone moves out of place, it puts stress all the way up and down the spinal column. So putting it back in place hopefully is going to take the stress off all those discs. That's going to be the goal. Okay? So give us a call. All right. I understand. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, the L4, L5, that's the nerve that goes out of the spine, down into the hip and down the leg. So the answer is absolutely positively yes, that's probably the cause of your pain. So we'd love to get our hands on it and see what we can do for you. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know about how many treatments, but if you call the office tomorrow, we can give you a little more information. But again, until I see you, it's impossible to give you a number of visits, but we'll work with you. And we have offices in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Okay? Bring the report with you. That'd be very helpful to us. Okay? Thanks, Nancy. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks so much. All right, we're going to go to a break soon. So if you're on hold, folks, keep on holding. If you have a question, the number is 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. And we're talking today about rules for healthy living. And so let's go through some tried and true nutrition tips that everyone does well with. Nobody won't do well with these, okay? You want to eat as much unprocessed food as possible. Now, I say unprocessed, that means fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And one way you can tell it's unprocessed, it doesn't have a label on it. If it has a label on it, chances are it's been processed. So even dehydrated fruit or dehydrated vegetables, they've been processed. Now, that's okay compared to what most people are eating. But if it doesn't have a label on it, it's fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, nuts, and seeds, you're going to be in good shape. The more processed food you eat, the worse off you're going to be. Now, if you eat something that has a label, and I eat food that has labels on it, here's the rule. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Read the ingredients. If you can't pronounce an ingredient, don't eat it. It's just that simple. But I want you to have something raw at every meal. Now, I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad, something raw at every meal, because raw food has something in it called enzymes. Enzymes are the one supplement that nobody talks about. We talk about vitamins and minerals and fats and nutrients. Enzymes are the reason you're alive, because you're just a sack of chemicals. All you are is a sack of chemicals. So calcium, magnesium, boron, whatever it is, phosphorus, what makes those things come alive? It's the enzymes that make the potassium and the calcium and the boron and magnesium join forces and create living tissue. And then you have a nervous system, which puts the spark of life into it. So raw food, very, very important. You need to get that raw food in your diet. That's why I recommend, at least for supplements, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. The minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking every day, supplement-wise, is Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. I take a scoop of each. I have them right here in the studio with me. They taste great. They're relatively inexpensive. Those are on the website, drjoe.com. So if you're not willing to do anything else, we talked about small steps, at least do the Super Greens and Essential Source. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, lines are open, 844-44-Dr.Joe, my website, drjoe.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Renowned medical correspondent and endurance race champion, Bob Arnott, MD.
Okie dokie.
Getting questions about a Cyber Monday deal. But think of something.
Got to talk to Garrett about that one, man. That's out of my ballpark. Garrett's in charge of that.
I might sneak something in while he's not looking, guys.
Yeah, he does that to me, you know. I'm going to tie my shoe. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, but Garrett does that.
Perfect time for a deal.
That's right. When I'm not here. Yeah, Garrett's sneaky, man. I'll get these emails. Oh, Doc, that was a great deal. You know, buy 3, get 1 free or whatever it is. And I'm like, who did that? That Garrett.
Anyways, guys, if you're a part of the newsletter, if we do decide to do a Cyber Monday deal, I'm going to have the email go out before 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it will be a deal only for tomorrow. It will start on November 26th, and it will end on November 26th.
Okay, so if you're not on our newsletter, send us your email address. Go right now to the website, drjoe.com. Send us your email address, and then Garrett will put you in the email system, because we do have specials, and we do have special lectures, and sometimes there are private breakout sessions that we only share out people on our newsletter list. We never give out your email address, I promise you, but send us your email address right now. Go to drjoe.com and do that, and so we'll put you on the special list. So it depends what Garrett wants to do tomorrow. Don't even tell me, Garrett. Just la 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 la. Don't even tell me. So
okay, here's one. Can I eat raw okra? And is it good for you?
Yes and yes.
Nice.
Yep, raw okra is great. It has a soluble fiber in it. That's why when you cook it, it gets all that slimy stuff. But raw okra is great because soluble fiber, when it gets into your colon, wraps around toxic chemicals, wraps around excess cholesterol, hormones, and flushes it out of the system. So okra is one of those awesome rockin' foods.
And now back to the colloidal silver.
Yes, colloidal silver is awesome. I have a bottle at my house. I have a bottle at my office. And if I feel like I'm getting sick, Oh no, we got 6 minutes. Okay. If I feel like I'm getting sick, it's antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. It's one of the few things that actually a lot of medical experts are using now because we created these antibiotic-resistant bacteria and bugs. And so the colloidal silver is one of those things that they still wipe them out. So it's great. But now, warning, warning, warning. Don't take too much of it. Follow the directions. If you take too much of it, you will actually turn blue.
Like Willy Wonka blue?
Like Willy Wonka blue, Smurf blue. Yes, that is not a joke. And it doesn't go away. So too much colloidal silver, bad. Little bit, good.
I was just joking with my dad on that because I got him on colloidal silver in the mornings. He got diverticulitis.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And I was asking him, I said, you know, how much are you taking? Are you following the instructions? He was like, no, I'm just taking like a dropper or two, whatever I'm feeling. I was like, well, you know it'll make you turn blue. And he did not believe me. I sat there, I had to pull it up on my phone, I had to pull it up on his phone.
Yep.
But we got another question on how to control silent reflux.
Go to my website, drjoe.com. First article is on acid reflux. It's on GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. You take the stomach, you can't do it, unfortunately. Believe me, if there was, I'd do it to myself. And we adjust the stomach. We pull it down away from the diaphragm, and when we do, the stomach right now, if you have acid reflux, the stomach is pushing up through the diaphragm through what's called the lower esophageal sphincter. We pull the stomach down, that sphincter should close, hopefully, and then we solve the acid reflux. Number one reason we see patients is pain, car accidents, sports injuries, headache, neck pain, back pain. Number two reason we see patients is acid reflux. And so come see us, and hopefully you'll be one of those thousands and thousands of patients who say, why didn't I do this sooner? So, what else?
After traveling home from New York, what did you do to rehydrate? We got a question on that for what to do when you travel.
Oh, man, very good question. You got to drink a lot of water. Absolutely, positively. You got to drink it getting onto the plane or wherever you're going. Again, New York, very dry air up there. You got to do it and constantly do it. Don't just drink one glass of water and you're done. You got to do it in flight too. You can do water on flight. If you want to get crazy, have some seltzer. Now be careful. Seltzer has bubbles in it. And when you're in lower pressure up in the airplane, the bubbles will expand. And so more people actually do have more gas on an airplane because their colon is expanding. The gas in their colon is expanding. So if you drink something bubbly, you might have some cramping and some gas because the gas is actually expanding in your colon. But another thing you can do too is when you get home, take a bath. Your skin is a sponge. It'll absorb water right through the skin. So take a bath, maybe throw some Epsom salts in there to get some magnesium into your system. So drink a lot of fluids and make sure, if you can, take a bath to rehydrate your body.
Are there any tricks to that, like coconut water or...
Coconut water is okay, but it has a lot of sugar in it, and that's why I'm not the biggest fan. Absolutely, positively, the best is Super Green's an essential source. So I take it with me. It's a powder. I mix a scoop of each for each day I'm going to be together. So usually I have 2 containers. If I'm traveling, I want to condense it. So I'll just mix them together already. And you can do that at home too. You know, take half Super Greens, half Essential Source, mix them together, throw the other half in the other container and mix it, and then 2 scoops of that. But I take that at least once a day when I'm traveling, usually 2 or 3 times a day when I travel. Because you got to replace all those nutrients and the stress of traveling. Luckily, we got out half hour late. And there was a storm rolling in. And so we just beat the storm. It's like right behind us, which was great. So.
How do you feel about humidifiers?
Love humidifiers. Absolutely, positively great. Make sure you keep them clean, though, because you don't want to be blowing, viruses, germs, and bacteria into the air. So make sure you clean your humidifier, but absolutely, positively, it's great.
I was not the best kid growing up, and I had my humidifier on all the time and never checked it, never cleaned it, and finally my mom went downstairs at some point. I must have been 12, and it was so full and like just chock full of mold.
Oh my gosh! So you're blowing mold into the air.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Doing good for you.
Yes.
That's what it's for.
I have another question. How do you feel about beans? Like
the magical fruits? No, they're great. There's a new workout that beans have lectins in them. So if you use a pressure cooker to break down the lectins, that's a very good way actually, because you're going to have a little less gas by doing that, I find. But beans are great. I have no problem with them. I eat them on a regular basis. Yeah. I should try to do organic as always. Pressure cooker is the best way to cook them, but yes, Beans rock. No problem with it at all.
Here's a heavy question, and that is, can you keep yourself from getting macular degeneration if you find you have the gene mutations for it?
I have macular degeneration. My macular degeneration, I started taking super greens and essential source in about, 4 or 6 years, has gotten about 80% better. So can I promise you? No, but I can tell you, if you ever want to see the pictures, I have the pictures of my eyes. Gotta go back. Save that question, I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, Chicago.
You'll ask yourself, why didn't I listen?
Early Chicago, of Chicago 1 Transit Authority.
On News 95.5 at AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you could be here. Some of you don't get to hear the bumper music we play, but Ahmad's playing some old Chicago from Chicago Transit Authority. First album ever by Chicago, man. I used to have a big poster of the whole band in my room with all the players in there, and I saw them 5 times in 6 nights in New York one time at the Woolman Skating Rink in Central Park. And tickets were, the expensive tickets were $10, and if you got the cheap seats, they were $5. And I saw them every night. They played every night, and I saw them. It was great. I'm a huge Chicago fan. And then I saw them years later, and it's like one original member. It's like it was a cover band. It wasn't even Chicago anymore, but I still like them. So anyway, you can't hear, some of you can't hear the bumper music, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're talking today about health tips. You know, some simple guidelines to stay healthy. Again, lots of fruits and vegetables. Reasonable amount of fruit. Fruit does have sugar in it. I usually recommend 3 or 4 pieces a day max of fruit because some people have problems with too much sugar there. Try to do organic when you can, please, folks, so you don't get the pesticides. And also, organic fruit and vegetables has a lot more nutrients in it. So even though you're spending a little more, in some cases you're not. In fact, what's kind of cool in the past few years, I'm seeing organic fruits and vegetables on sale that are cheaper than conventional, which is pretty rocking. But try to have something raw at every meal, and again, limit the fruit somewhat. If you're going to do animal products, I got a lot of callers. I'm going to take the callers in just a second. If you're going to do animal products, I recommend you don't. I haven't had any animal products in 32 years. So far, so good. I'm going to give it another 100 years. And if I don't like it, I'm going to go back to eating animals. But at this point, I think I'm good. If you're going to eat animal products, please, organic only. This way, you're not getting the corn-fed ones are loaded with saturated fats, omega-6 fatty acids. Broil it or boil it is going to be the best. If you start to grill it, you start getting lines on the meat. And those lines create something called heterocyclic amines, which are known carcinogens. The smell of the cooking meat, you know, the barbecue meat that smells so good, those contain polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are known carcinogens. I can't imagine, and hopefully it happens in our lifetime, that we can sustain the lifestyle that we have. Because it takes so much more food and so much more water to produce a pound of meat than it does a pound of beans or a pound of whatever, lentils. So you're seeing the change. In fact, the plant-based diet revolution has gone up 500% since, was it in the past 3 years, I think it was, if I had the stats right. So a lot more people going to a plant-based diet. Why? Because it just makes sense. The reason I do plant-based, it just makes sense. I used to love the flavor of meatball Parmesan sandwiches, but it doesn't make sense. So if you just sit down logically and say, yeah, I like that flavor, but logically it's really not the best thing for me, that's where you want to go. All right, let's start taking some more callers. If you have a question, 84444 Dr. Joe. Eric, how can we make your day better? Hello, Eric. Eric growing once. Eric going twice. I'm going to put you back on hold, Eric, and come back to me. Let's see. Chrissy, you there? Hi, Chrissy. How can we make your day better? Uh-huh. Uh-huh, sure. Right. Now, do you know it's gallbladder? Are you sure it's gallbladder? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, many times what happens if the gallbladder isn't, if you're having pain, it could be the stomach pushed up against your diaphragm. And that's the number 2 reason we see patients in my office. The number 1 reason is because of pain, obviously with chiropractors, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, car accidents. The number 2 reason is the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm. So many times we can actually adjust the stomach or pull it down away from the diaphragm, because even my fellow chiropractors, and I love my chiropractors, they keep trying to treat everything chemically. Let's try this supplement. Let's try this. I support that 100%, but if there's a physical component that isn't being addressed, you're not going to get the results you want. So my suggestion would be, let's make sure it really is the gallbladder. And is it anything more than the gallbladder? I'm not saying it's not, but is there anything more? Now with gallbladder, you got to be, if it is gallbladder, be very careful about the fat you eat. You can't eat a lot of fatty food. And if you do eat fatty food, I've seen studies that show eating between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon is the best time, because that's the time your gallbladder is the most active. So even taking the time, and you can try it. Again, I'm not saying it's going to work or not. I've just read about this. And try, if you're going to eat anything fatty, 10 to 2. But just don't eat fatty foods. It's really going to be the secret. And if the pain starts to go away by cutting back the fatty foods, it's probably gallbladder. If it doesn't go away, then it's probably stomach. And that's how we can figure it out. If you want to come see us, you're not too far from our Duluth office. We can check that out for you and see what we can do to get that fixed. Okay? Thanks, Chrissy. Appreciate the call. All right, we missed out. We lost Eric. What a bummer, man. Eric, if you're still there, call back. Mike, how can we make your day better? Sure. I understand. Sure. Sure. Okay, I understand. A couple of things. It could be the stomach we just talked about, because when you lay down, your stomach doesn't have gravity pulling it down, so that could be part of it, especially if you're having pain across the chest. So we can easily check that out. It could be ribs out of place, or a vertebrae in the mid-back out of place, because when you sleep, you twist around, and that can put pressure. If you torque the ribs, that can cause that pain across your chest as well. Now, of course, I'm assuming we're not having a heart attack. If you had your blood pressure checked, make sure you're not having a heart attack there. But if it's only in the morning, chances are it's more physical and not chemical. Stomach up against the, yeah. Perfect. Okay, good. Okay. There you go. Yes. Okay, so one thing with car accidents, the pain can show up to 6 months later. So if you're in a car accident, I always say if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. So if any of you listening or watching have ever been in a car accident, you need to come see us right away. Now, right away could be a year later, could be 10 years later, could be next day. But it sounds like the problem is physical, Mike, and you might want to come see us and let us check that out and see if it is. And if it is, we'll hopefully get that fixed for you. Thanks, Mike. Hope to see you soon. And folks, if you do want to make an appointment to come see us in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Just go to my website, drjoe.com, and you can do it. Or the number you call here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. Now, if you're not in the Atlanta area, because I know this show goes all over the world, we can always do a phone consult or a Skype consult with you as well for nutrition and supplements as well. But when it comes to supplements, the minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking in every single day, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. They taste great. I just take coconut milk, almond milk, cold water, shake it up and drink it. Just spectacular. And I travel with it. It travels real easily. I was just flying recently. I got stopped because I had several of my books. I was flying up. I was a guest on Dr. Oz show, and I had several of my books with me, and they searched the books. They never questioned the container of green powder, which is great, you know. So it travels easily. It tastes great. It's minimum nutrients you need every day, relatively inexpensive. Folks, if you're not going to do anything else, treat yourself to health. What a concept, right? You go out and spend $50, $80, $100 on a dinner and not blink an eye, but when was the last time you did something for your health? So make your health a priority, and at least Super Greens and Essential Source. That's the minimum. Those are on the website, drjoe.com. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website again, drjoe.com. Hey, thanks for telling your friends about the show. We'll be right back. If you're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering, and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. All right.
So we were talking...
About the eye thing.
Yes.
Yes.
About macular degeneration.
Yes.
And then if we could then segue into a little more conversation on diverticulitis.
Sure. I have macular degeneration. Like I said, my eye doctor looked at it several years ago, started shaking, looked at my eyes, because you got macular degeneration, man. It's called drusen. It's not good. He said it's going to stay the same or get worse. It's not going to get better, and it just is what it is. It's genetic. There's nothing you can do about it. So I started taking Super Greens, an essential source, on a regular basis, at least once a day, sometimes twice. And 2 years later, I went back, and he physically started shaking again, looking at both pictures and going something. I said, what? I said, what's wrong? He goes, something's wrong. I said, what? I think I had a brain tumor. He says, it's getting better. And then I went to him again a couple of years later. Then I went to his new doctor working there, Dr. Z, and she's wonderful. And she didn't know anything about my history. And she's looking at the pictures of my eyes, and she's looking, and she's looking. And I said, you think you have them backwards, right? She goes, yeah, I think the dates are wrong. I have them switched. And I said, no, they're not switched. I said, it's actually getting better. She got so excited. In fact, they even now carry our supplements in their office for all their patients with macular degeneration. And she sent my research out to a macular specialist, saying this is unheard of. Macular degeneration can't get better. Well, here's my proof. It is. So my answer is I can't promise anything to you, but I know I would not go a day without Super Greens, an essential source, if for nothing else, because it proved to me my eyes can get better. So that's my answer right there. Need lots of antioxidants.
And then diverticulitis. We have a question in here about Mr. Martin's 80-year-old mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's got diverticulitis in the intestine.
Yes.
What's best?
Well, diverticulitis means inflammation. ITIS means itis. Itis means inflammation. Appendicitis, diverticulitis. So you got to get on anti-inflammatory diet. Anti-inflammatory diet is what? None of the 7 deadly sins. You got to cut those out. Alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. They got to go, because those are the inflammatory foods. Anti-inflammatory foods. Super Greens, an essential source. Tons of nutrients. Doesn't irritate the bowels. Chiropractic care. You got to adjust the nerves in the low back. That's the nerve that goes into the colon, sex organs, and bladder. We may have to adjust your stomach and pull it down away from the diaphragm to get that relaxed, get the whole colon to relax. And from there, the body should start to heal, and it usually does, which is kind of cool.
And now, I know you're not the biggest fan yet, but CBD's been doing wonders for my dad in terms of his diverticulitis.
There you go. CBD. Internally?
Internally.
Internally.
Yeah, you take it sublingual. I got that one right, I think.
Sublingual, yep. When Gary gets a word right, we ring a bell.
Yeah, he takes it sublingually.
My bell over here.
And it's been doing really well. That, along with the colloidal silver, I've cut a lot of I've fought to get a lot of the 7 deadly sins out of his diet.
Yes.
We still go over there and see a fridge full of meat and cheese, but...
And cream of mushroom soup and all that stuff in the pantry.
Yeah. But he's getting there.
He's getting better. He's
time.
eating smaller portions too, which is progress. But I have a few questions. What are some of the benefits that one should expect from a healthy gut lining, and in what time frame?
The immune system, number one. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So if you're having gut issues, you're having immune issues, and that's really important to get the gut fixed. Bloating, gas, you'll absorb your nutrients better, take the stress. Just want to make sure I'm not coming on here. Bring down the inflammation. Time-wise, I would go on Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Oils, Dr. Joe's Probiotics to help heal the gut. And I would do that. I would probably give it at least 8 weeks, 10 weeks before you start seeing some changes. You might see it sooner. Yeah. But Super Greens, Essential Source, and Dr. Joe's Probiotics all on the website, drjoe.com.
so just clear
Okay.
out of your way.
And
Downtown
do you have time
Slowdown
for another
southbound
question?
from
I don't
Station
think
down
so.
to
I think we're
20,
coming back now.
Northbound from University up to 10th Street.
Let's
Holiday
see.
travel brake lights on and off on the south side 75.
Yep, looks like
Northbound
it.
from
All right,
exit
we'll have time.
201,
And if I don't get to your questions,
Barber
email them to me.
75.
Got it.
Delays
Send them through the
on
website.
85 southbound in Jackson County from Pendergrass down to Chateau Alon, and on 85 on the south side. Heavy delays still in both directions between Grantville and
Yeah, Mont has headset on. That usually means we're going to rock here. So.
Suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there because that means we're spending some time together, and I love that. I love time with you guys. Talking today about healthy tips for healthy lifestyle. Pretty easy, and you don't have to follow all of them. I need to make sure I tell you that because sometimes people think that, oh my gosh, Dr. Joe, I can't do all of that. You don't have to do all of it. Do something. And then do something, and then do the next step, and next step, and next step, which is kind of neat. If you have a healthcare question, lines are open, 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Got to cut out your trans fatty acids. That means fried foods. I know you don't want to hear that because I love fried foods. But when you fry an oil, or heat an oil to that temperature, it changes the molecular structure, and it becomes a trans fat. Okay, so you got to cut out the trans fats. They're linked to heart disease, cancer, diabetes. I mean, they're just the worst of the worst. Now, I love fried foods, and the perfect combination, right? You get some carbohydrates, fry them, add some fat and some salt to it. Oh, is that heaven? Or sugar. Oh, even more heaven. But you can't do that, folks. You're just not allowed. It creates free radicals, and free radicals attack the lining of your artery walls. They oxidize your low-density lipoproteins. Did a show on that a couple of weeks ago on different types of fats and cholesterol levels and the truth about cholesterol. That's on the website, drjoe.com. And the oxidation of the low-density lipoproteins causes irritation of the artery walls, which then causes an inflammatory reaction. So the body lays down cholesterol and clogs up the artery, and then you can die. So you just got to stop it. Does it stink? Yeah. Is it worth it? A gazillion times, yeah. It really is. And you know, this is the thing. Once you start getting better, you'll say what everyone has said who's followed our advice. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer needlessly for so long? And it's not hard. It's easy. You just never did it. It's real simple stuff. Protein-wise, you don't have to worry about getting enough protein if you're on a plant-based diet. Stop that. That's silly. It's ridiculous. I've been hearing it for years, and I just want to say, stop, people. Your body needs about 8% of its total caloric intake as protein. So 8% of everything you eat should be protein. Anything beyond that is wasted, and it puts stress on your liver and your kidneys. A carrot is 6%. I mean, there's plenty of protein out there in the world. Look what a cow eats. Look what an elephant eats. Look what a hippopotamus eats. They don't eat animal protein. And look how big they are. We eat their protein. So all we're doing is eating recycled protein. Why don't we just cut out the middle cow? We just go right to the source of the protein, which is the plant. So don't worry about that. We talked earlier about this one. You can't overeat. Overeating, we talked about it earlier. If you missed it, we did a really good little segment on it. Was original sin in Indian Sanskrit. So you can't overeat. So here's the trick to not overeat. It takes 20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain that you're full, or that you're starting to get full. So if you're going to sit down to, let's say, Thanksgiving dinner and eat for an hour or 20 minutes or whatever it is, you're going to stuff yourself, and then it'll hit you. Bam, I feel miserable. Everyone's done it. I've done it. Or we can ruin your appetite. So have a little snack before every meal. Here's a great way to save money and lose weight. Have a snack before every meal. Have one handful of nuts or trail mix. Now, when I say one handful, I mean one handful. Because you're going to eat for 20 minutes. No, you're going to have a snack and then eat 20 minutes later. You'll be amazed how much less food you eat. You can have some guacamole if you want. You have some hummus if you want. Have a little bowl of soup if you want. 20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain. I promise you, you will eat so much less food, you'll be blown away. And then you're not going to overeat. You got to time your eating. You should have at least once a day, 12-hour segment where you don't eat. You can drink water. You can have supplements, Super Green, Essential Source, tea if you want to, natural teas. But you want to have a 12-hour segment. It's called intermittent fasting. So every day, 20 minutes, 12 hours, no food. So that means, and it's not hard. You have dinner at 5 o'clock at night. You have breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning. See how easy that was? Done. If you do that, you'll be amazed. And many people say to me, Dr. Joe, I've done blank diet. I've done WW diet. I've done high protein, carb, ketogenic, Atkins, whatever it is. And I've hit a plateau. Anybody have that when you're dieting? Okay. Then you need to go into intermittent fasting 102 or 102, I guess. What's the next level? Yeah, 101 is just 12 hours. Then you want to skip a meal, either dinner or breakfast. Dinner is what I do. So I can have a late lunch, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll skip until breakfast the next day. And if you do that 1 or 2 days a week, that's all you have to do, you'll be amazed how you get back on losing weight. Now, you can do it every day if you want. Boy, if you do it every day, you'll be rocking. But that's a neat little way to do intermittent fasting to another level, not just 12 hours a day, but maybe 16 hours a day. That'll kind of jumpstart your diet then. All right, let's start taking some callers again. 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Mike, how can we make your day better? I'm happy. Sure. The air fryer is a little better, but when you heat carbohydrates with fat near them, you create something called acrylamides, like French fries. So even if you air fry it, if you're going to create that crisp, you're creating the acrylamides. So it's probably better than like just general frying, like deep frying. Absolutely, you're using a lot less oil, so you'll have a lot less hydrogenation, a lot less free radicals. It's still not good. It's just better. The best is still going to be fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. So, sorry, Mike. Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. If you have a question, like Mike and everyone else, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. Now, in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged, you need to come see us now. Stop suffering. Every day that goes by that you're in pain is going to make it harder and harder to fix. You're going to save time, you're going to save money, add quality of life by getting to us faster. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com, you can do it right online or give us a call at the number here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe. That goes to my offices. And in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Now, not just for you, for your friends, your family, and your children. If children have a healthy lifestyle when they're growing up, they have the bones lined up in their body properly, stress off the spine, chances are they're going to grow up a lot healthier. If they're not, they start out young, they have problems, it's going to be a lot more of a problem. So if you're serious about wanting to get well and doing it for your kids as well, stop suffering, go to website drjoe.com. I hear music, some of you don't. That means that we have to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. If you want more information about super greens, essential source, we'll talk about nitric oxide to open up the circulation to your brain and all parts of your body. B complex, somebody had a question about digestive health. We have probiotics, tons of supplements on the website, drjoe.com, and make an appointment, drjoe.com. Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or
Bam.
All right, I got one long question, and then we each have a couple of short ones.
All right, good.
So, I have pancreatitis, not a drinker, and my gallbladder has been taken out.
Yes.
I had a ruptured appendix.
Okay.
And thyroid issues.
Holy cow.
Is this due to foods I have eaten? I'm a healthy eater, and I have no idea why I have all of these issues. Any ideas why I might have gotten all of
I don't know why. It could be a genetic predisposition. It could be an environmental issue. I grew up in New Jersey. We called it Cancer Alley, and I just had a girl I used to walk home from school in first grade. I guess she was my little girlfriend in first grade. Just died. And a lot of people in my high school class have died. And so why is that? I don't know. We grew up in Cancer Alley, though. So there could be a genetic, could be environmental. But either way, you, more than anyone, have to take really good care of yourselves. You have to get a normally functioning nervous system, chiropractic. You have to get a normally functioning digestive system. If the stomach is up against the diaphragm, pull it back down and then give it the right nutrients. And then have a good diet. So you, more than anyone, has to take more care to get themselves well. So go to your website or give us a call at 844-44-Dr.Joe. We'll set you up a time. And let's do an evaluation and let's see if this is something we can help. And if we can, we'll tell you. And if we can't, guess what? We'll tell you that too. We're not going to waste your time or ours.
And now it is that time of year. So we do have a question. You got some liners to do?
Yeah. As soon as we still got about a minute. So go ahead.
Okay. It's flu season.
Yes.
Would you take a flu vaccine?
No. Absolutely not. Never had, never will. I found out this weekend that I had an uncle. My grandmother's brother in Germany. Early 1920s, I always heard the story that Hitler was just coming into power, and he walked with a limp. He was partially paralyzed, and what I guess was the SS, we don't know, came and took him from our town, Obersinn, and said, we're going to take him to Berlin and fix him. Well, from what we figured out, he went to the concentration camps and he died. So Hitler didn't kill just Jews, he killed anyone who wasn't perfect, who wasn't Aryan. I found out this weekend, this was a shock to me, that the reason he went lame is they gave him a vaccine. And right after the vaccine, he went lame. And that was the first time I ever heard that before. So my answer is no, I wouldn't get a flu vaccine. I would take Dr. Joe's immune booster every day, which I do. I would take...
Wellness booster.
Wellness booster. Dr. Joe's wellness booster. A little bit of nutritional yeast, at least half a teaspoon to a teaspoon a day. Dr. Joe's vitamin D3, 5,000 international units a day. And that's what I do when I haven't gotten a flu or a cold in years. So, and cut out sugar.
Now with the nutritional yeast, you're not dipping a spoon into a
powder
container of Bragg's.
Yeah. Nope, I just sprinkle a little bit on my food. Anything savory. You want salad, soups, beans. What did I put in today? I can't remember what I put in today even. Oh, I made a cauliflower pizza crust. And I put some nutritional yeast on that. So it was easy. All right, folks, got to do liners here. So hold on one second. Let's just take a second. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and this week we're going to give you rules to follow for healthy living. Hey, Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on my show, we're going to be discussing rules to follow if your goal is to get well and stay well. Hey, we're talking about rules to follow to get well and stay well this week on the Dr. Joe Esposito Show. First time. Perfect.
All right, and Instagram will be cut out shortly, but we will come right back.
Yeah, so we got to do this Instagram, so we're going to cut out. Just stay there. We're going to come right back on.
Now, over here on YouTube, we do have a question on, and you somewhat answered this a moment ago, but how do you, as a man, trim belly fat?
It can be an estrogen-dominant issue, so we have to cut out all the estrogen compounds that you're exposing yourself to. That could be anything that's plastic. Is it next week we're doing a show on environmental toxins?
Pretty soon we are. I'm not sure if it's next week, but sometime before the end of the year, we've got a show on hidden chemicals in your everyday products.
Yeah,
so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that, like Garrett said, because we're going to be talking about that and chemicals that can make you estrogen-dominant. If you're stuck on a diet, like I said, go into intermittent fasting, cut out dinner twice a week. And again, you can have a little later lunch if you want to. First 2 or 3 times you do it, you think you're going to starve to death. And guess what? After that, you're perfectly fine. You feel great. Your energy level skyrockets. So that's going to be the one thing you want to do. And some people do well on a high-protein diet. Some people do well on a high-fat diet. I don't do well on fat. Oh, I thought that was me. I don't do well on fat. When I go to a low-fat diet, I lose weight. So you got to experiment, really, and find out what works best for you. You can do the ketogenic diet. I never recommend doing ketogenic diet for more than 2 months. Studies are now showing you can increase risk of heart disease, so I don't want to do that. It might jumpstart your weight loss. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it. You can't do a little bit here and a little bit there, because if you put any carbs in the body and you're on a ketogenic diet, bam, you put on weight. But I do well. I don't do well on a ketogenic diet. I do very well on a low-fat diet. Not no fat, low fat. So that's going to help the belly fat tremendously. And when you start doing that, and then if you have a stomach up against your diaphragm, you might have a lot of bloating. It may not be fat, it might be gas. You might be full of it. So we need to pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, and many people report their stomach flattens out, myself included, when the stomach is acting up.
All right.
So,
do we have time for one more question?
yes.
Yes, and it's actually in line with nutritional yeast. The systemic candida.
Systemic.
Systemic.
No bell today for Garrett.
Would nutritional yeast not be bad for that?
No, it's a different type of yeast, so it's okay. Now, if you do have systemic yeast infection, call our office. We'll put you on a whole protocol for systemic yeast. That's a project you have ahead of you, but please do it, because it can kill you.
Some of your supplements, such as Livaplex, are not vegan.
That is correct.
Can you explain why?
Sure. Most of my supplements, everything except the vitamin D is vegan. Livaplex is a different company that we use. If somebody's vegan, I put them on all vegan supplements. If they're not vegan, I can put them on animal-based supplements. I don't have a problem with that because they're doing animal products anyway, and the results are extremely good. So I want to get the best results for you. What's going to work best for you? That's why. So I know they're not vegan.
Okay, and what are your opinions on the term superfood? Is it fake? Is it like a process?
It's like fibromyalgia. It's just a term. What does it mean? It means, I don't know. It means anything's a superfood. So supergreen's an essential source. Absolutely superfoods. So there's no definition for superfood. So it's really overused. You know, it's like superhero. You know, Garrett's a superhero, you know, but he doesn't wear a cape. So it's hard to say. How do you identify him in public, you know?
All right, Instagram,
Oh, here we go.
we will be right back.
This is Chris Burns from
Oh, no, I was wrong.
Change is coming in taxes, healthcare, the markets.
More on the compliments though.
Keep those coming. Those are good, yeah. Garrett and I talked. If you never read the book, 5 Love Languages, please read that book. I didn't write it. I have no connection to it. But boy, I tell you what, when you know what somebody's love language
Jill
is,
Nelson's in the WSB 24-hour traffic
you can
center.
deal with anything you want with that person, and it's an amazing life.
I'm the one who showed him love language.
Oh, there you go. See, Sierra taught him about it, yeah. And Garrett's is words of affirmation. So I've learned that it's very easy, because if I give Garrett a gift, he might like it. He's not going to say no to it. But that's not his love language. His love language is words of affirmation. So it's touch, words of affirmation, quality time,
Acts of service,
and
Gifts.
gifts. Was it gifts? I don't think probably gifts yet. But if somebody's gifts and you give them praise, it's not really going to go very far. But you can bring them a pen, and they'll love it. So if you never read 5 Love Languages, please do, and then find out what everybody around what their love language is, and life becomes much
You
easier.
can take a quiz online.
You take a quiz online, exactly. Look it up for free. Find out what your love language is. Don't even have to read the whole book.
Lows 27 to 30. Tuesday, a mix of sun and
Yeah,
clouds.
see, plug-in for another author. How about that?
I made Garrett take it when we started dating.
Wednesday, mostly sunny.
Yeah, if you're dating somebody, figure out their love language. Life becomes simple.
48 degrees on Peachtree Street at News
And if you have
95.5
kids,
and AM
learn their love language.
7.
Amazing.
Depend on it.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're spending a little time with me today. Fun show today. Well, it's always a fun show. I don't think we've ever had a non-fun show. Sometimes we get serious, but it's never not fun. Healthy rules. Rules for healthy living. Real simple stuff. Now, the rule is this. The number one rule is you don't have to do all the rules. I want you to do all the rules because you'll be happy when you do all the rules, but you don't have to do them. Pick some. Do something. Make some change. And when you see the results, and you will, you'll say, wow, that was easy. I can do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do this. And then next thing you know, you're healthy. How did that happen? Oh, that's right. I followed Dr. Joe's advice. It's really cool. Now, again, I can't heal everything. This is not a guarantee that we're going to fix everything. And we have a team of doctors we work with. In fact, when I flew up to do Dr. Oz show, I walk into the basically loading dock to go up to the studio, and there's one of my favorite medical doctors in the whole world standing there. She's on the show as well. I'm like, Dr. Taz, what are you doing here? She goes, Dr. Joe, what are you doing here? And we just started chatting. And so I refer to her. In fact, it was so funny. Picked up from the airport, somebody sent me a message on my Facebook, on my website, and I just said, call the office, ask for Dr. Taz's phone number. So she's a holistic medical doctor, and she's awesome. And she sends us patients all the time. We send her patients all the time. So we work very closely with a group of orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons, vascular surgeons, holistic practitioners, dentists, psychologists, psychiatrists, because we want to get you the best care available. And if we can give it to you, great. But if it's not something that's within our wheelhouse, we want to send you to somebody who can. Our goal, naturally get you well and keep you well. So that's why it's so much fun to do things like this. But we do work with other doctors. If you're on hold, keep holding. Jen, I see you're up there. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. We're talking about tips to get healthy. And you got to make sure you stay hydrated. Most of you are dehydrated. Simple little test you can do. Take your palm, take your hand, put it palm down. Grab the skin on the back of your hand and squeeze it. And lift it up and then let it go. It should spring right back. If it doesn't spring right back, chances are you're dehydrated. Everybody in the studio is doing that now. So you did very good, Sierra. You did well. So that's a little test you can do. Most of us don't drink enough water. When you're a baby, there's a part of your brain that controls hunger and a part of your brain that controls thirst. It's somewhere near the hypothalamus. And as you get older, those two parts of the brain grow together. So you as an adult have a tough time distinguishing between hunger and thirst. And many times when you're hungry, in fact, most times when you're hungry, I'm going to throw that out there, you're probably just thirsty. So I want you to have a big glass of water before every meal, about 5 minutes before every meal. And you're going to eat a lot less food as well. So make sure you drink a lot of water. I know I make 2 huge travel containers of tea every day. Now, tea is fine. You can use that as water. It's an herbal tea. And I drink that throughout the day. And I know at the end of the day, if I still have fluid left over in my containers, I didn't drink enough fluids. And so then I try to drink it. I stopped drinking around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason is if I drink too late toward bedtime, I wake up and I got to pee and it interrupts my sleep, which is another tip we're probably going to give you if we have time today, is you got to make sure you have enough sleep. So make sure you're hydrated. Take a bath. Taking a bath, your skin is a sponge. You can actually absorb water. I had a woman one time in my life, and she was horribly sick with morning sickness and thought she was going to die. She couldn't even hold an ice cube in her mouth. I mean, she was just heaving and throwing up and shaking, and I thought she was going to die. And I didn't know what to do. And I'm thinking, gosh, I'm the man. I should be able to solve this problem. I'm the nutrition guy. And I put her in a bathtub of water. And within about 5 or 10 minutes, she blossomed like a flower. So dehydration is a real serious issue. Make sure you do that. And of course, alcohol consumption, it's one of my 7 deadly sins. I recommend you don't drink alcohol because it's one of the things you shouldn't do. If you do, it's one of the things I talked about with Dr. Oz actually, is for every drink you want to have 3 glasses of water. And this way, several things happen. Number one, you're in the bathroom peeing all night, so you're not going to drink as much. You're going to save a ton of money because you're in the bathroom all night. And it's going to rehydrate you because alcohol is a diuretic, and alcohol shuts down the production of something called vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone in your brain. And antidiuretic hormone prevents you from peeing all day. When you shut down the production of antidiuretic hormone, you pee. Why? You're flushing the alcohol out of the system. So by rehydrating yourself, you're going to do yourself really well. Let's start taking some calls. Got a lot more to cover here. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Jenna, how can we make your day better? Yes. Sure. Sure. Right. That is an excellent question, Jen. I haven't been asked that question in several years now about soy. All right, if you're going to do soy, it's got to be organic. Okay, because if I remember the stats correctly, 94% of all soy in this country is genetically modified. So it's got to be organic. Number 2, fermented soy is better than non-fermented soy. So tempeh, miso, much better than non-fermented soy. Because when you ferment it, it breaks down some of the problems that we have. There are chemicals in soy that are estrogenic. They act like estrogen. There's also goiterogenics, which can affect the thyroid as well. That being said, if you're eating meats, commercial meats, which you and I don't, of course, but if you're eating commercial meats, what are those animals fed? Soy. Okay, so that's another reason not to eat meat. If you're going to eat meat, it's got to be organic, but better you don't eat it. So as far as the levels of soy, organic, absolutely positively. Once you're at that level, fermented miso or tempeh or natto, which is just god-awful horrible, that's better choices. Now, that being said, if you have some organic tofu every now and then, it ain't going to kill you. I don't recommend you have textured soy protein because when they do that, they add an acid to it. It frees up glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is monosodium glutamate, essentially, and it's an excitotoxin to the brain. I did a show on that a couple of weeks ago. It's on the website, drjoe.com. So I don't eat a lot of soy. I don't go out of my way to eat it, but every now and then, if there's some tofu and some food I like, I'll have some tofu and I'm good. No. No, don't put tofu in the smoothie or anything like that. Absolutely, positively not. Yes, Dr. Joe Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, that's the best smoothie in the world. If you have to add some pea protein, if you want to add protein to it, some pea protein would be a much better choice, or hemp protein. Okay? Thanks, Jenna. It was good talking to a fellow vegan. Thanks so much. I assume she was vegan. All right, folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, give me a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air because we want to have make us accessible to you 24 hours a day. If you want to order Super Greens, an essential source, which is the minimum amount of nutrients you should be taking every single day, stop what you're doing. Go to the website, drjoe.com, and order it right now so you don't forget. And once you start taking it for probably just a few days, you're going to go, wow, this stuff is amazing. Why didn't I do it sooner? I hope you're going to say that anyway. If you want to make an appointment in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love the opportunity to be your doctor to help you get well and stay well. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com or 844-44-Dr. Joe. We'll be right back.
Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you experiencing...
Bam!
What we've been using in terms of any kind of protein powder, we found really cheap at a big chain grocery store, is just hemp powder.
Hemp powder, absolutely. Yeah. Hemp is great.
It's cheap. 1 tablespoon is more protein than we need for the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's your whole day right there, yeah. So if you want to do protein like that, that's perfect. Good. Make sure it's organic if you can.
I use hemp hearts too. But...
Hemp hearts, yep.
Hemp hearts are great, yep. Great in salad, love that.
You have a question?
Yes, I have one question about...
Hold on 1 second. Rachel has...
Someone wants to talk to you
off air. Get their phone number and I'll try to give them a call back tomorrow because right now I can't do that because we're streaming right now. Okay? Thank you. Just get their phone number, okay? Or have them call me tomorrow. All right, go ahead.
Okay, one question about the nitric oxide.
Yes.
One of our loyal followers, Levi, uses it as a pre-workout, and he wants to know how will long-term use affect the natural ability of the veins to be more open during physical activity?
It shouldn't. I've never seen any studies showing that it has any adverse side effects because it opens it up and it helps them stay flexible, just like working out. So you want to work out those arteries and veins. Well, yes, arteries. So, all right, what else? Next question.
Okay, so Rachel here. Great show, by the way.
Thank you.
Sometimes when I exercise, especially in the cold weather, the right side of my throat gets swollen and really hurts.
Yes.
Any ideas?
Yes, of course I get on my left side. It's interesting to say that. A couple of things. What I find is when my atlas is out of place, and sometimes it doesn't hurt because 90% of nerves don't feel pain. Whatever side the atlas is on, that's where I start having my sore throat. Second thing is you can't clean your ears. If you use any type of cotton swab or anything, stop that because the ear canal is direct pathway. Virus, germs, bacteria, and cold air can get in the ear, right into the eustachian tube and irritate the throat. So you got to stop that right away. If you start feeling a little scratchy throat, Dr. Joe's seasonal tonic is just amazing for that. Seasonal tonic is ginger, horseradish, cayenne pepper, onion, and garlic pureed in apple cider vinegar. Take a few dropperfuls of that every day, especially right before you go work out, and that should help tremendously. But if you keep getting it, you want to stop cleaning your ears and then come see us, and we'll see if it's an atlas issue.
And that is it for the time being.
Yay.
It's it on my side, too.
Excellent. No, any other questions, folks? You got 3 more segments, so send them in now. Or you can call us, 844-44-Dr. Joe, and we'll do that.
Got a lot of people who like the topic tonight, though.
Yeah, it is a great topic.
Good. Yeah, just fun little thing I throw together.
Take
Oh,
it
that
slow.
old thing. Well, keeping it simple. Sometimes I get really intense on one topic and I kind of immerse myself because I get excited about it. I assume you're excited too, and you're like, I'm not excited about that. But this is good generic stuff, so.
New research on lectins.
Oh my gosh! My tail's wagging, I'm panting, I'm so excited. And you're like, what the heck's a lectin? Who cares, right? Yeah. That's what I do for fun. I read this stuff and go, oh boy, this is great.
That's like him with Aerosoft and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. What's new? It was fun on Dr. Oz. They asked me, they said, give us topics. Please send us topic ideas. They've been on 10 years now. You know, and they go through a lot of topics.
Quickly.
So like, what?
Quickly.
Quickly,
He's on air,
yes. Yeah, like
more than once a week.
Oh, yeah. So send it. Yeah, it's on every day. You got a number?
Yep, and I wrote down what
Ooh, okay. Yes, she does. 3 cups of coffee today and 1 Coke. Has pink urine and abdominal. They don't know who this is, so I can say it. Pink urine and abdominal pain. Does she need to worry? Yes, she does. I will call her back and say yes, she does. She needs to get that checked immediately. Pink urine is a sign of blood, and there's probably blood in the urine. She did too much acid from coffee and Coke, and she needs to get that fixed immediately. Yes. What? She what?
She's elderly.
She's elderly. Okay, good. Okay. I'm elderly too. Fun elderly. Chase you with my cane.
So here we go. Dr. Joe, tell me more about nitric oxide.
Oh.
And is there a risk in taking it?
Risk in taking too much, yes. But if you follow the directions, no. And I've never known of any risk. Oops.
Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 at AM 750
We'll get back to you.
WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. So glad we're spending time together. Do appreciate it. A lot of people say they're liking today's show, which I hope they like every show, but we're getting a lot of feedback here. We do live stream a lot of our shows, so if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, we do it on YouTube many times, and so you can watch us if you want to see my pretty face on the air. You're more than welcome to do that as well. And also, here's the thing. I want everybody, whether you're watching us streaming or you're on radio, I want you to send me your email address. And the reason is we send out special sometimes on our supplements. We'll have special breakout sessions for just people on our newsletter list. Special lectures sometimes we'll have. Sometimes we have tickets to things. Special events. If I'm speaking at an event, many times somebody's charging people to come to events. And one of the things I always ask for is, can I have tickets for my email list? So do that right now. Go to website, drjoe.com. Just send us your email address. We'll never give it to anyone, we promise. It's just a good way to stay in touch with us as well. If you have a healthcare question, lines are open, 844-44-DR-JOE, D-R-J-O-E. See, drjoe.com, 844-DR-JOE, Dr. Joe Supplements, the brand, Dr. Joe. I don't know if I've told you this story, Garrett. When websites first came out, I wanted to get joeesposito.com. And joeesposito.com was taken. And it was taken by Elvis Presley's bodyguard. His name was Joe Esposito. And in fact, if you Google Joe Esposito, mostly pictures of me show up, but every now and then you see this old man in there. That's Elvis's bodyguard. And there's pictures of him and Elvis and everything. And so he was joeesposito.com. So I got drjoe.com. And we passed him in the Google searches. You Google Joe Esposito, he came up first, then we came up first. Now he's dead, unfortunately. So he probably knew who I was because we passed him in a Google search. So he knew me. He knew Elvis. There's your connection to Elvis Presley. You're two levels away, right? So anyway, but drjoe.com is there for you. So talking today about little tips you can do to stay healthy. High fructose corn syrup. Where's it found? Everywhere. Look at the ingredients. High fructose corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, high fructose corn. It's everywhere. Why? Because it's cheap. And it's sweeter than regular sugar. Because regular table sugar is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. High fructose corn syrup is 55% fructose. 5% difference makes it a lot sweeter. So it's cheaper and sweeter. So I'm a manufacturer. Why wouldn't I use something that's cheaper and sweeter? You're going to buy more of my product and I'm going to make more money. Brilliant. Capitalism at its finest. But don't do it. Because that fructose has to be converted into glucose, which is the fuel that you use. And in the process, your body produces something called uric acid. And uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. Now, my team of doctors were chiropractors. Our goal is to get you out of pain. So that's why every patient that comes in, we do a nutritional evaluation on. Because we want to try to get you well from all angles. And if you're doing fructose, creating uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts, you're not going to get all the results that you want or that I want you to get. Nitric oxide prevents your body from producing, uric acid prevents the body from producing nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. One of our many popular supplements we have is Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide Support because it opens up your blood vessels. And that can help lower blood pressure, but it can also increase circulation to your brain, to your reproductive organs, keep it clean because of family show. When I first got in practice, we didn't see a lot of problems with male performance issues. How about that? Except for old guys who are on blood pressure medication. Now we're seeing it in 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds. We had one guy come in one time, I've told the story before. He looked like He-Man, tall, handsome guy. I mean, the staff was just like, oh my God, this guy's like a god. But he was taking steroids. So part of his good looks were fabricated. But there was a big issue in the romantic department. And so we had to get him off his steroids, and it took a while to flush that out of the system. And then we got him on some nitric oxide support to open up the blood vessels, and things started working again. So the nitric oxide is one of those great supplements that very popular. But if you're doing a lot of high fructose corn syrup, guess what? You're counteracting all the work we're trying to do. So you got to cut out that high fructose corn syrup. Agave nectar. A lot of people say agave nectar, it's wonderful. It doesn't spike your blood sugar. So it's safe. You know why it doesn't spike your blood sugar? It's the Dr. Joe show. You learn why, right? The reason it doesn't spike your blood sugar is because it's 85% fructose. The glucose is the thing that raises your blood sugar. The 85% fructose has to go into your liver to be converted into glucose. And so it doesn't spike your blood sugar right away, but it causes long-term damage. So agave nectar is not a health food. Don't be fooled because it's in the health food section that it's a health food. It's a lie. So we got to cut out the fructose the best we can. And high fructose corn syrup and agave are things you got to cut out, not just for sugar reasons, but because it's affecting your immune system and it's affecting your production of uric acid, and then you're not going to get the results you want when you're a patient of ours. And we want you to say nice things about us. And most people say very nice things about us when they follow our advice. If they don't follow our advice, well, then they shouldn't be saying anything because you didn't do what we told you to do. Vitamins and minerals, absolutely vital. Years ago, even 20, 30 years ago, the soil had way higher levels of nutrients in it, and now we've depleted our soil, even organic soils. And so we need to replace those. So the minimum amount of supplements, what do we take? Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Also B vitamins. Most of us are deficient in B vitamins, and as a vegan, I'm deficient in B12. So I take Dr. Joe's B complex along with Super Greens and Essential Source to get my B vitamins in there. I also take Adrenal Support because as you get older, your adrenal glands get weak, and adrenal glands produce energy. They produce adrenaline. They produce anti-inflammatories called prostaglandins. They actually mediate inflammation. And they produce pregnenolone, which becomes DHEA, which becomes your sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Or if you're under stress, pregnenolone becomes DHEA, which then becomes cortisol. And cortisol is your stress hormone. And we can do a cortisol test in our office. If you want to know what your cortisol is, we can do a test on you. And the cortisol should be high in the morning and filter out as the day goes on. Most people, when they're under stress, the cortisol stays high and can actually go higher at night. That's a very bad red flag. You're going to have to do something about that. And we can do those tests in our office. We can also order blood tests for you, folks. So we can do blood tests if you'd like. And we can do male hormone panels, female hormone panels. We can do thyroid panels. I just had my hormone panel done. Everything was great. Thank you. So it's important that we get these tests done so we can find out what's going on with you. And a cortisol test, we can actually do a saliva test on you, which is kind of easy and quick. But supplements are so vital. And I don't know why we don't push more supplements. Well, I know why. It's really not a high profit item. Medication's a big profit item. And I'm not against drugs. Please understand that. But I'm against unnecessary use of drugs. That's where my concerns come in. But supplements, if you want us to put together a regimen for you, we're more than happy to do that for you. We can do that. Best thing is if you want to get well, come see us. We're a chiropractic team. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We can check your nervous system. We can check your digestive system. We can do a nutritional workup on you because that's what it's going to take to get well. Normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe is the number here at the studio, which rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. The website, if you want to make an appointment on the website, if you want to order the Super Greens, the Essential Source, the Nitric Oxide, the B Complex, the Vitamin D, all of those are on the website, drjoe.com. Also, we have over 1,000 hours of podcasts on the website as well. We have audio and videos, so you can download and watch them, whatever makes you happy to get you well and keep you well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Would you like to feel better? Be
Oh,
happier?
what was that all about? That was loud.
That was loud in my ears.
Yes. We have to wear headsets here to hear it, so.
It's so weird thinking about the fact that, like, you're right in front of me, but I never actually watch you do the show.
I know, I always...
I'm looking at the screen, because, I mean, obviously there's a latency for all of these, but on the actual computer that's doing the recording or the streaming, it's real time, so I don't skip a beat, but you're...
This Instagram video is like right in my direct feed of you, so I have to.
So you're watching two of me, right?
Yeah. Look down to actually see your
That's
face.
scary. Two of me. Good Lord.
Someone's asked, will insurance cover these tests that you're talking about?
Probably not. But we'd have to check your insurance and find out. So we'll verify all that for you. But if not, believe me.
Is it cheaper to get the test ahead of time before there's a big problem than it is to have a problem, have insurance cover it, and then go get the test?
Beat me to my answer, young man. Yes, because every time somebody's sick, really sick, No one's ever said, wow, I'm so glad I waited to get a diagnosis on this. 100% of the time they say, if only I'd found this sooner. Every commercial you see for cancer research, for heart disease, get it early, find it early. It's so much cheaper to do that. And this is the thing too, folks. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health. People die all day, every day, because the insurance company decided that they didn't need this treatment. Whatever that treatment is, heart surgery, brain surgery, blood work, chiropractic care. People are getting sick and dying, and shame on you for letting an insurance company dictate your treatment plan. I know you have insurance. I wish it wasn't like this, but nothing is more valuable than your health. And no one's ever laid on their deathbed saying, thank God I saved that $20 on that test. Ha ha. So don't be one of those people.
Yeah, I buy premium gas because I want my engine to be healthy.
And you're going to save money in the long run.
Yeah.
My German grandfather, I have it in my book, A Prescription for Extreme Health. My German grandfather came over from Germany in 1923. The advice he gave me was always buy the best. It's always cheaper. And it always is. I don't want discount brain surgery. I don't want discount blood work. I want to get the best there is because hopefully nothing's wrong. I love spending money and finding out nothing's wrong. That makes me happy.
I don't want a discount chiropractor.
I don't want a discount chiropractor. I mean, gosh, that drives me every day. I tell you, the best thing that's ever happened to our offices are these discount chiropractors. People go there and says, "Oh my God, I got a $12, $20 adjustment." I don't want a $20 adjustment.
I would not want somebody that's worth $20 putting their hands on my spine.
Exactly. If that's all you're worth, you don't have enough skill to be touching me, man. I want the best.
Okay, so this guy here.
This guy. What are you, from Jersey? This guy is.
Spending too much time with you.
Yeah, for real.
Now you're talking like I talk here.
This girl actually.
This girl here. This
says,
girl guy.
I eat very healthy.
Good.
But I have issues with acid reflux.
Yes.
I've noticed I have had problems with my sinuses at the same time.
Yes.
Is there a connection?
100% yes. Well, eating healthy and this acid reflux, no. The stomach there's a sheet of muscle called diaphragm. Your stomach can push up into the hole in the diaphragm, and that causes the acid reflux. So you can eat. Oh, it's not us. Okay. You can eat the best food in the world, but if you have a physical problem, it needs to be physically fixed. So we need to take the stomach and pull it down away from the diaphragm. On our website, drjoe.com, under the blog, first article is on gastroesophageal reflux disease. By far our most popular article, and explains the technique we use. Now, don't try to do this yourself. You can't do it. If you did, I would do it because I have the same problem. If you could fix yourself, I would have found a way to fix it, and you can't be done. So come see us and let's fix it because you're eating right, but you're not getting all the benefits because you're not absorbing your nutrients.
Okay, are chlorella and spirulina tablets something I should be taking as a vegan? I'm already, yes.
You said chlorella and spirulina, correct. There you go. You got a bell.
I'm already taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Essential Source daily.
Yeah, you don't need more then. You're fine. There's chlorella and spirulina in the Super Green. So.
All right, now I'm going to try really hard for this one. And, buddy, you could have given me an acronym or something.
All right, here we go.
Have you looked into nicotinamide riboside to increase production of NAD?
Nicotinamide. Oh, you almost got the bell, man. Yes, you can produce NAD with that. It's fine. You can take it if you want to. But if your body's healthy and you're eating good food, your body's going to go through the Krebs cycle and produce the NAD on its own, and you don't need to take an extra supplement for it. So.
What does NAD stand for?
I'd have to look that one up.
Stumped Dr.
Yes,
Joe.
it makes the mitochondria work more efficiently. Yes. So you can take it if you want to, but if you eat a healthy diet, then you're treating the cause and not just treating the symptom. So.
And we never touched back base on the guy who wanted to know about nitric oxide.
Ah, that's true.
There's somebody who asked a question.
Oh, we brought it up in the show, but yeah, go ahead.
He just wanted to know a little bit more about nitric oxide, what it does, and if there are any side effects.
NO2, nitric oxide, gets into the artery walls and it causes them to relax and expand. As we get older, our blood vessels become more brittle. And so the NO2, nitric oxide, can allow them to start expanding again. Side effects, just be careful if you start getting dizzy or headaches, too much blood into the brain with anything, stop taking it. Maybe cut back your dosage. Like we take 4 tablets a day is what we recommend. Maybe take 1 and see how you do. If you take too many, you can really drop your blood pressure too much, so don't overdo it. Don't think 4 is good, 5 is better. That's not true. But it works great. I love it. I find it gives me energy. It helps in all aspects of my life, so you probably want to consider that then. Start slow. Start with 1, see how you do. Take 2 the next day, 3 the next day, 4 the next day, and see how you do. I'm okay with that.
Do you think nitric oxide would make you hungrier?
I've never heard that before, but
The only thing I've really changed in my diet is I've gone from taking 2 nitric oxide to the
4,
prescribed 4,
right?
and I've been eating like crazy.
Do you take the adrenal support too?
Yeah. I don't know. We can do some muscle testing on you and try it. We'll check that tomorrow if you want.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking enough water?
That's right.
No,
I have not.
exactly. Until you haven't.
There, busted. I like having her around. She squeals on you. Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't let anything get past her.
Good.
Mostly sunny afternoon, breezy, high
Someone's got
48.
to.
Tuesday,
Somebody's got to keep an eye on you.
mixed
Exactly.
high
She's got
47.
an investment in you.
Mostly sunny, high
You're a commodity to her. Got to keep an eye on my commodity.
48 degrees on Peachtree Street at News 95.5 and AM 750.
All right, here we go, kids.
WSB. Depend on it.
Live and festive in the Publix Holiday Headquarters studio at WSB.
Listen to Dr. Joe. The 5 most dangerous words in the English language are, maybe it will go away, stop suffering, and start getting well. Dr. Joe Esposito is on WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there because that means you're listening, and I like that because hopefully I'm sharing some good tidbits with you. A lot of good feedback on the show today, as always. Our goal is what? Naturally get you well and keep you well. See a little play on words. Naturally, we want to get you well and keep you well. Naturally, we want to get you well and keep you well. And that's the goal. And so that's why we take all our shows and put them on a podcast, drjoe.com. We live stream a lot of the shows. So if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you get to see my pretty face, or you can go to the website and watch my pretty face. We have well over 1,000 hours. You can pick the topics that you like. We have them on SoundCloud, so you can download them. We have them on YouTube if you want to watch them or listen to them. Just a lot of fun. Because health should be fun, and that's what's neat about being healthy is you can enjoy life a whole lot more. And it breaks my heart. I said earlier, my little first grade friend I used to walk home from school, Dawn, just found out she died. She's my age. Breaks my heart to hear those things. So it really is heartbreaking to hear these things happening, and a lot of these things can be avoided. Now, we're all going to die anyway, eventually, but it's about quality and quantity. It's, for my opinion, it's about quality and quantity. And every old person I know, if they're in wheelchairs or if they're on medication, all they do is sit around and complain about their problem and say, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I'd taken better care of myself. So don't be one of those people. Be that person and say, you look great for your age. That's when you know you're old, when somebody says you look great for your age. But do the things that it takes to stay that way and have more fun. 26,960 days in the average life. We can extend that number dramatically by doing some of the things we're talking about today. Let's talk about...
Might I add?
Oh, yes, you may add.
You look great for your age.
Well, you son of a... Ahmad's on your side too now. What is this? Ganging up on me here?
Well, you got some kids in the office.
You punks. Yeah.
Studio.
I'll whip you with my cane, both of yous. Yeah. Sierra, defend me. So I do look good for my age, though, don't I? Yeah. Most people think I'm about 15 years younger. All right, so let's talk about exercise. If you don't like hitting the gym, if you don't like, doing your Olivia Newton-John aerobics there, I met Olivia Newton-John once. I love my little Olivia Newton-John story. Met Marlo Thomas this week. Those of you old enough to know that. I met Marlo Thomas this week. Very, very pleasant young lady.
And Al Roker.
Al Roker, that's right. I was at the Macy's Day Parade a while ago, and there was Al hanging out there. So got to hang out with Al. So anyway, exercise. You don't have to hit the gym to stay healthy. That's the key. And some people overwork themselves. I have patients come in that are over-exercising. They're putting too much stress on their body, and the body wears out because when you exercise, you produce something called free radicals. Now, free radicals are like Pac-Man. They whack, 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 they eat through things. So when you exercise, one of the waste products that's produced is free radicals. Now, we're all producing free radicals every day. But if you over-exercise, you produce too many free radicals, and so you start to build muscle mass, but then your body starts to break itself down. So healthy exercise, find out what works for you. You know, they say sitting is the new smoking. Absolutely, positively correct. So get up and move. When I do my radio show, I'm standing. When I do TV shows, I stand. Park far away and walk. I went to the grocery store today. What did I do? I parked far away and walked. I could have drove around for an hour looking for a spot or just park far away and walk. You'll save gas. It's better for the environment, better for you. No downside to stay moving. But movement is the key. Now, the goal would be something called 10,000 steps. Now, if you don't know what that is, it came out of Japan originally. And they realized that if you took 10,000 steps a day, you got the equivalent of about a 20-minute aerobic workout. So all you have to do is get a pedometer, buy one, put it on your belt. Don't use the one on your phone because I don't want you carrying your phone close to your body if you don't need to, because I've done shows on electromagnetic frequencies. You probably want to catch those on my website, drjoe.com. Cell phones. You ever read the directions? No one ever has. I don't know if anybody's ever read that little pamphlet that comes in your cell phone. You know what it says in the cell phone? It says, don't put this next to your head. It's a cell phone. Where do you put it? Next to your head. And it says right there in the directions, don't put it next to your head. Because the electromagnetic frequencies can actually heat up your brain and damage the nervous system. As a chiropractor, my job is protect and defend the nervous system. And if you're putting a cell phone next to your head, you're messing up my good work and my team of doctors' good work. So if the phone is up against your head, at least hold it about an inch or two away. Better yet is a speaker or a wired headset with a speaker on it. They cost about $6. I have them in my car, I have them in my house, I have them in my office. So whenever I get a phone call, I put it on speaker as I'm getting my headset, plug the headset in, and then we're good to go.
What about Bluetooth?
Worse, because it sends those electromagnetic frequencies right into the brain. So not a big fan. Wired or speaker, or hold it away from your head, which is the least of the choices there. But please don't. And of course, in certain states, you can't talk on your phone anyway if you're in your car, so that solves the problem there. Just do that. But get a pedometer, put it on your belt, 10,000 steps a day. Most of you, if you're the average person, are taking about 6,000 plus steps a day. You're not far off. You just have to push it a little bit more. When you get to that 10,000 step level, let me tell you, man, you start losing weight, you feel better, your love life improves, everything changes because you're getting the motion that your body needs. Now, you don't have to go to the gym. How about if you clean your house? How about if you wash the windows? How do you wash my windows? You can do little things throughout the day. Maybe gardening. I know I like gardening when I have the opportunity. It's great. So gardening is good exercise. Every day you brush your teeth. Everybody brush their teeth twice a day? Say yes. Okay. I want you to do squats while you're brushing your teeth. I do this. If you live with somebody, they'll think you're crazy. But just put your toothbrush on and just do gentle squats. You don't have to go down to the floor. Just gentle squats. You're brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, and you're working these big muscles, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your gluteus muscles. Those are the big supporting muscles. And as a chiropractor, I want to make sure you're supporting your hips and your spine the best you can. And that's a real simple little exercise you can do. But you got to keep the body in motion. And if you're sitting a lot, do this. Drink a lot of water. Have a big glass of water, and then every hour you're going to have to get up and pee. And so there's your opportunity to walk. And just by keeping the body in motion, something as simple as that is going to be good for you. Staying hydrated, and you're going to get your exercise in. So that's really important. Stress is real important. We're talking about tips to stay healthy. Stress is a biggie. Stress is the killer. Stress is the thing that kills most of us. There's 3 types of stress. There's physical, chemical, and emotional stress. Physical stress is what we just talked about, overworking. As a chiropractor, my team of doctors and I, we see people with neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, shooting pain down your legs. That's physical stress. In most cases, the bones are out of place, the joints are wearing out, the discs are bulging. All of that's physical. So the best treatment I find for that, in most cases, is physically put the bones back in place. Get a series of chiropractic adjustments to stabilize the spine. It's pretty simple stuff. It's relatively inexpensive, works great in most cases. People love it when they do what we say. So if you have pain, you can't ignore the physical aspects. So many people try to treat the chemical aspects of healthcare and ignore the physical aspects of healthcare. So if you have acid reflux, it could be the stomach is physically pushed up against the diaphragm. We need to pull it back down. Neck pain, radiating pain, shoulder pain, we have to physically put the bones back in place. It's not hard, it's easy, and that's what chiropractic is. There's chemical stress, that's food. Environmental stress, I was in the Lincoln Tunnel not long ago. There was a car accident in front of us, got stuck there. Guess what? Inhaling fumes, not a good idea. So you can control a lot of chemical stress, and at least, please folks, the minimum, take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Now I'd recommend more supplements than that, but if you need a starter kit, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Those information is on the website, drjoe.com. If you come by our offices, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge, you can save the shipping costs. So if you're not in the area, of course, we have to ship it to you, but you can save shipping costs if you just stop by the office and pick them up. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have a healthcare question, last segment, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Again, my website, drjoe.com. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
If you're like most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly, and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Are you...
All right, so we did have a question. One of the guys that had mentioned, or one of the people that had asked about the newsletter, said that they went to the website and they weren't able to find a place to put in their address, their email address. Well, guys, if you have a pop-up blocker, or if you've been to the site before, we're not going to bombard you with our newsletter. So all you have to do is register on our website at drjoe.com, go to My Account, register on the right, you can use whatever email address, whatever passwords you want, and that will automatically put you into our monthly newsletter, which the monthly newsletter, you can unsubscribe from that at any point that you want to. You can do it through your account on the website, or you can do it from the email that we send you. At the very bottom, there's a little checkbox for you to unsubscribe.
Yeah, we don't want to pester you. And if you, it says you want to send us a question, contact us. It says you can send a question. Just put it in the question area. You can do that as well. Yeah, we don't want to bother you. If you don't want to hear from us, that's fine too. But we'd love to keep you on our list, and that's a great question. And because again, when you first come on, this little pop-up thing, but I hate it when it keeps bombarding. Sign up now. Sign up now. Any questions? Any questions? So we kind of pull that back a little bit.
We like to be nice and light. We only email you. I think the most we've emailed in the last 6 months was like twice in 1 month.
Yeah, we don't send a lot out, but when we do, it's worth it. Believe me.
Now, Dr. Joe, my wife breaks out in hives out of nowhere. What could be causing this?
You. No. With that, what I tell people to do is go to our website. You can download. It's called the Diet Diary. It's no charge. And write down everything she eats. Now, when I say everything, I mean everything. If she has a piece of gum, if she has a sip of soda, whatever it is, and let's see if there's a correlation to something she's eating. Then also, when she has the hives, write it down and where she is. Is she home? Is she at work? Is she with somebody? Maybe somebody's wearing perfume or cologne. It's kind of a hard way. It's a little tricky sometimes, but once you start writing things down, and then when you do have the breakout, it's easy to figure out. A lot of people get herpes outbreaks when they eat peanuts. Well, they never put it together. And it started happening. People come to me and say, Dr. Joe, every time I go to Braves game, I have a herpes outbreak, either oral, genital, shingles. And it's because peanuts have chemicals in it that can stimulate herpes and stimulate viruses. So that's why you really got to start keeping notes to try to find out what it is. To help with that, she can take Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster. That'll help the immune system get strong. If she has acid reflux or heartburn, bring her in to come see us. The Super Greens, the essential source, can also help the immune system. And then she put extra virgin coconut oil on the skin. And that might help as well. No, not yet. Okay.
No, I don't have any other questions. Personally, I have a question. You had mentioned...
No questions from you. Not allowed.
Especially after your comment.
Yeah, Mr. Old. That's right. Sierra, do you have any questions? I'll talk. We won't even talk to him, okay? We'll just talk to you.
Ask him about what he does for his Wi-Fi. But yeah, what do you do about your Wi-Fi at home?
Shut it off. I have a little timer, $6 at one of the big box stores, and right around 9:30 at night it shuts off, and right around at 6 o'clock in the morning it comes back on again. So this way at night I don't have Wi-Fi bombarding my body all day, every day, and I have wired cable. It's a little more expensive, but I don't want the Wi-Fi zipping through the house all day and night.
Here's a good question. It's a good analysis of why the flu outbreak is always early and how it is easily avoidable.
Well, why it's early, I believe it's because the seasons change, we're inside more, viruses. I just did a show on this not long ago. If you go to website, drjoe.com, we did a cold and flu show. But I take at least a teaspoon of nutritional yeast every day, 5,000 international units of Dr. Joe's vitamin D. Super Green is an essential source, of course, and that's going to help tremendously with help building up your immune system. And then you can take probiotics if you have digestive problems and build up the immune system and prevent you from getting sick. And then keep your house moist. That's important too. We talked about a humidifier earlier, but make sure you clean the humidifier because and keep yourself warm because viruses grow in cold, dry areas like your sinuses. And why it comes early every year? Well, it always seems like a shock. It's earlier this year. Well, it shouldn't be a shock. Here we go.
Independents are important to you. Start today with something completely in your control. Your health. Dr. Joe Esposito is on.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Last segment, man. If you're just joining us, you're missing an amazing show. But the good news is this. It's going to be on my website tomorrow. Right, Garrett? Say yes.
Yeah, and actually for the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Instagram videos, they all go up immediately after the show.
Okay, and then it'll be on the website tomorrow too at drjoe.com. So, and we have, like I said, over 1,000 hours of podcast, audio, and video. You can download them on SoundCloud. We want to get it to you any way we possibly can. And so the website's a great source of information, drjoe.com, and you could listen to it. But if you just tuned in, man, you missed the rockin' show, which is a bummer. But that's okay. You can get it tomorrow. Let's talk about relaxation. We're talking about tips to get healthy. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you have a question, give us a call. 844-44-Dr. Joe. But again, we don't have much time. If you didn't get on, you can always send us a question through the website, drjoe.com. Contact us. I'm more than happy to answer your questions for you. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, which obviously is the most important thing you could probably do as far as your healthcare goes, go to the website, drjoe.com. The Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to be your doctors. We really do. We want to get the nervous system working, digestive system working, and good nutrition. But here's the thing. If you're not serious about wanting to get well, please don't make an appointment. Okay, I don't want you to come in and waste all your time and fill out paperwork and sit down with me and one of my doctors and talk about this and go, nah, I don't want to do anything. You have the choice not to do anything, of course. It's always your choice. But if you're not serious about wanting to get well, wait till you are. Don't take up that appointment from somebody else because that's not fair. When we book you an appointment, we book time for you. And if you don't want to do everything needs to be done, or worse, you don't even show up, you're going to stiff us. And that not so much me and my staff, you're taking time away from somebody else who needed that valuable appointment. So if you're really serious about wanting to get well, go to website, drjoe.com, or call us at 844-44-Dr. When I'm not on the air, we can get you set up. So sleep is important because the body needs to rest. Quality and predictable sleep, I can't overstate this enough how important it is. Many of you try to cram too many things in a day. Our society is packed full of things that prevent you from sleeping. Do you agree with that? I do. You're always go, 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 go. Different individuals require different amount of sleeps, but generally 7 to 8 hours a night is what you're looking for would be perfect. It needs to be predictable and consistent so your body can get into what's called a biorhythm. It gets into the mood. And this is why people that sleep weird hours can have some real serious issues. I used to date a gal, she was an anchor at CNN, and she'd go to work, she'd leave for work at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so from 2 o'clock in the morning, she'd go on the air at 5, she'd be on from 5 to 10. And then on the weekends, she tried to live a normal life, and it was really, really, really challenging socially as well as physically. And so it's a real issue, and I don't have an answer for that one. If you work weird hours and you try to have a normal life on the weekends, I don't know if I have a good answer for that, but then you have to take really good care of yourself. At least take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. In the winter months, please, I'm begging you, vitamin D, 5,000 international units a day minimum. Super Greens, Essential Source, and vitamin D. B complex, if you're not getting B vitamins, most of us aren't, I'd recommend you take Dr. Joe's B complex as well. I do every day. Adrenal support is really important because the adrenals get weak as we get older, and you want to keep those puppies working. So the Super Greens, the essential source for a lot of the organs, and you got the adrenal support, and then the sleep is going to be so vital. Find a bed that you like, find a pillow that you like, try different pillows. I was never one to return things, and finally I met somebody who loves to return things, and I'll try something out. If I don't like it, bring it back to the store. You can get your money back, save your receipt. It's not a bad thing to do. Sleeping significantly less, it can be very detrimental. And one of the things I see so often is people have sleep apnea. Raise your hands if you have sleep apnea. A lot of you have sleep apnea. Why do I know that? Because a lot of you come into the office and tell me you have sleep apnea. One of the things I find with sleep apnea is the problem can be physical. You have a sheet of muscle called your diaphragm, and you have a hole in the diaphragm, and below that is your stomach. And when you eat, food drops through the hole in the diaphragm, goes into your stomach digests food, and then passes it on to the small intestine. So if you're eating late at night, when you lay down, you don't have gravity pulling the food down. And so the food has a tendency to perhaps reflux up into your throat. If the stomach is pushing up against the diaphragm, you're trying to sleep and breathe, and your diaphragm wants to go down to suck air into your lungs, and your stomach is preventing it from going all the way down, and so you're not getting enough oxygen. Why does it happen when you're standing up? You have gravity pulling your stomach down. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, chronic cough, sinus problems, those could all be signs that acid is coming up into your throat, into your sinuses. So what do we need to do? We need to pull the stomach or massage the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And that's the number 2 reason we see patients in our offices. Number 1 is pain, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, car accident injuries. And folks, please, if you're in a car accident, make sure you get quality care. Almost every day, patients come in and say, oh, somebody said I had to go see this doctor. The guy in the emergency room handed me a card and said, go see him. I'll give you $50 or whatever it is. They don't get the treatment that they need. The insurance is over. The insurance companies tell you to go kiss off. And now suddenly you're stuck. So make sure you're getting quality care if you have an injury. You know, I don't want to pay for discounted brain surgery. I don't want you paying for discounted anything. I want you to make sure you get the care you need. So we love car accidents. We're very good at car accidents. We know how to document it. A lot of the adjusters know who we are. They listen to the show. The attorneys know who we are. The judges know who we are. So it's a really good place to come for your injuries, including car accidents. And you can make an appointment at the website, drjoe.com. But I digress. So if the stomach is up against the diaphragm, you're not digesting your food properly, and your stomach breaks proteins into amino acids. And the amino acid tryptophan combines with vitamin B6, creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP becomes serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical in your brain that's your happy neurotransmitter. Dopamine is your pleasure neurotransmitter. Serotonin becomes dopamine, which helps you sleep. So here I am being psychic again. I'm playing psychic. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, chances are you're having sleep trouble as well. And the reason is A, physical, the stomach isn't allowing the diaphragm to move, and B, chemical, your brain may not be producing the melatonin that you need because you're not digesting your food properly. So that's a warning sign. Not being able to sleep is a warning sign, just like pain is a warning sign. And I don't want you to ignore the warning signs, I want you to fix them. And as we start to run out of time, I want you to think about something. I'll get a little philosophical here on you. I want you to find out what makes you happy. That's a tough question. And what I would recommend you do is write down what makes you happy. And then make a list of things that don't make you happy. And if people are in your life are the things that are not making you happy, you might have to make a real tough career move or change. You may have to get rid of some of the people in your life that are causing you to get sick. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. My website, drjoe.com. Tons of information there. Over 1,000 hours of podcast, audio, video. Download them on SoundCloud. We have it there. Minimum amount of nutrients you need every day is what? Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. But you need other supplements as well. All of those are on the website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, and I think you should, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. 844-44-Dr. or go to the website, drjoe.com. Hey, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Millions of fans agree.
Okay. So, folks, on social media, thanks so much for tuning in. Do appreciate it. We got to wrap it up. Let the studio go. If you have any questions, want to make an appointment, order the supplements, go to the website, drjoe.com. Hey, do me a favor, send us your email address so we can add you to our list. Tell your friends about this. Share it on social media so we can spread the word. We'll catch you next week.